Ana uhyi wa umit. I give life and I give death. And he bought two people that were in jail and he killed one of them and he let one of them go. And the king said, see, I give life, I give death. And that was the king's way of showing, if I want, I can also what? Kill you. The only reason you're alive is because I'm letting you be alive. Now, if you think you're standing in front of a king, all of his soldiers, all of their weapons, all of their swords, knives, spears, and you're standing there alone in front of a king, you should probably show some respect, right? He says, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْتِي بِالشَّمْسِ مِنَ الْمَشْرِقِ فَأْتِي بِهَا مِنَ الْمَغْرِبِ. Oh yeah, well, my God brings the sun from the east. Why don't you bring it from the west? فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ. And the king was humiliated. He was silenced. Was he afraid? I mean, if there's a police officer that pulled somebody over, and you humiliate the police officer, is that a smart thing to do? No, you have to be some special kind of brave, because you don't know what they're going to do to you. Ibrahim alayhi salam was never afraid. But the angel showed up at his house. He's 100 years old. They come to his door. They don't even have any weapons. They just say salam. And the Quran describes, he called them in, but he felt a little bit of fear. And I'll show you where he felt fear. Then فَجَاءَ بِعِجْلٍ سَمِينٍ. He told his family, hey, go make some fresh barbecue for them. So they slaughtered a calf and they got some meat and they put the meat in front of these guys. These people that came. And they wouldn't even touch the food. They didn't touch the food. Now, I go to people's house when they invite me. And when the food comes out, I stop being friends with everybody. I don't know you. There's meat. Right? They don't have to wait. No, please, first you. I don't wait for that. First me, I know. Just give me the food. These people have, and by the way, when you travel, do you get hungry? Actually, when you travel, you're hungry even when you're not hungry. Right? And these men are not eating anything. And Ibrahim alayhi salam starts sensing a little bit of fear. Maybe because his wife was home and he was afraid for her. It's possible. Maybe for that reason. I think there's another reason, Allahu Alam. I think whenever Ibrahim alayhi salam is talking about Allah, whenever he's representing Allah, whenever he's preaching the message of Allah, or he is challenging those who say wrong things about Allah, all of his fear disappears. And when he's not in that mission zone, when he's not in that on duty, then he's much more normal human being. Like it's as if Allah gives him the superpower to not be afraid when he represents Allah. He could take on a king, he could take on an entire village that's about to throw him into a fire, he could take on an entire mob as a kid that's yelling at him, not afraid. 3 strangers showed up, I'm a little nervous. It's a little bit of a different personality, right? We don't normally associate that with him. And maybe Allah is showing us that when you speak for Allah, and Allah gives you a bravery you could never have had on your own. Allah gives you a courage that you could never have on your own. When you learn about Allah, and when you speak out about Allah, then you get confidence you never thought you had. Right? So they don't want to eat. But eventually they say, no, don't be afraid. They notice that he's getting afraid. So they say, don't be afraid, and they let him know that you're going to have a really good, a really sensitive, a really thoughtful, and a knowledgeable child. Okay, he's going to have a kid. He's now 114 years old. Ismail's already there. His wife is super old. She could overhear them. She didn't see them, but she heard them. Yeah? And Allah says in the Quran, فَأَقْبَلَتْ امْرَأَتُهُ فِي صَرَّةٍ فَصَكَّتْ وَجْهَهَا وَقَالَتْ عَجُوزٌ عَقِيمٌ. So his wife slapped her face. Ha! This is my old lady. I don't know if I did a good job. But she's an old lady who just cried out in a laugh. And she said, Ajuz, Aqim. She said, I'm an old woman. And I was never able to have babies. I was always infertile. Infertile means someone who can't have a baby. I couldn't even have a baby when I was young. And you think I'm going to have a baby now? She screams that out. The angels came to talk to who? They didn't come to talk to Mrs. Ibrahim. They came to talk to Mr. Ibrahim. And the lady heard them have a conversation, and she interrupted the conversation with her laugh, and said, what are you talking about? Right? She interrupted. And the angels didn't say, ma'am, excuse me, we're here on official business from Allah to His Prophet. Can you please, this is a classified meeting. Women are not invited in this meeting. Can you please excuse us? This is above your pay grade a little bit. Or they didn't say to Ibrahim, also, we have other things to tell you, but could you get your wife under control first? We got other more important things to discuss. Because obviously they're talking to Ibrahim alayhi salam, right? The angels stopped talking to Ibrahim in the Quran. They start talking to her instead. Mrs. Ibrahim. Mrs. Ibrahim. This is Allah's way of showing us that her feelings were hurt. And Allah cares about her feelings, so much so that the angels that came to speak to Ibrahim are no longer talking to him, they are talking to her. And Allah could have recorded, Allah could have never told us about that in the Quran. Allah could have just told us they came and they gave him this news and then they told him other things and he could have skipped the interruption. He could have skipped but he didn't skip it. He included that in the Quran. Yesterday I told you he lived so long, but how many days of his life did Allah include? Few days. And in those few days, a few moments. And in those few moments, Allah even included this woman slapping her face and crying out. Which means this was not included by accident. This was important. This was serious to Allah. He wants us to learn something from this. He wants us to learn something from this. Sometimes people live a life and they have a regret that they were not able to do what they always wanted to do. It seems like this lady, his wife, always wanted to have a baby. And could she? Her whole life she couldn't have a baby. And she really cared about Ibrahim alayhi salam, who's a prophet. And she knows that he wants to have children that will follow his religion, but she knows she was never able to give him a child. And his other wife has already given him a child. Who? Ismail. But she's not able to give him a child. And now she's very old. She's almost dying. And Allah says, yeah, you're going to have a baby. Now, an old woman who can barely sit, an old woman who can barely walk. There are women that give birth in their 20s. It's painful. In their 30s, let's not talk about it. In their 40s, what was I thinking? Right? Because your body cannot take it. You're not able to handle it. It becomes more and more risky for the mom and the baby. She's 100. That's like a death sentence. So she's like, what are you going to try to kill me? I'm going to have a baby? I can barely take care of myself. Now I have to have a child and then take care of a child? How am I supposed to do that? And the angels tell her, that's what your Rabb said. He knows everything. He has all the wisdom. They comforted her. This is coming from Allah. And even if you don't understand it right now, I know you're like, if you were going to give me a baby, why didn't you just give me a baby when I was younger? Allah knows why. Allah has a wise plan. Just trust Allah. But yes, ma'am, that is the policy. That is the rule that Allah has given. That's His decision. It's going to happen. This is what Allah gave to His wife. Now, the wife and the angels are talking, but Ibrahim alayhi salam is still sitting there thinking. And he turns to the angels and says, Allah does not send a group of you to tell me about a baby. He could have sent one of you. He could have sent none of you. He could have just revealed it to me. Why are you really here? مَا خَطْبُكُمْ أَيُّهَا الْمُرْسَلُونَ. Why are you really here? What's your real mission? He knew that they're not just there to tell him about the baby. So they said, إِنَّا أُرْسِلْنَا إِلَىٰ قَوْمٍ مُجْرِمِينَ لِنُرْسِلَ عَلَيْهِمْ حِجَارَةً مِّن طِينٍ. Oh no, we actually came for another reason too. We came here because we have been sent to deal with a criminal nation. We are going to shoot them down with stones made of clay from the sky. We're going to rain bullets on them from the sky and gun every one of them down. That's why we're going to just end a nation. That's why we're here. Ibrahim alayhi salam just heard the good news of a baby, and now he's hearing that a lot of people are about to die. Right? And those people were the nation of Lut alayhi salam. And he could have said, well, good, those kuffar, the earth is better without them. Can I watch? When is this going down? Oh, this is awesome. Finally, somebody deals with these people. None of that. None of that. You find in the Quran, يُجَادِلُنَا فِي قَوْمِ لُوطٍ. When Allah told Ibrahim a.s. to go into a fire, did he do it? When Allah told Ibrahim a.s. to sacrifice his son, did he do it? When Allah told Ibrahim a.s. to leave his family in the middle of the desert, did he do it? Yes. Allah asks him the most impossible things and he does it, doesn't he? He never argues with Allah. إِذْ قَالَ لَهُ رَبُّهُ أَسْلِمْ قَالَ أَسْلَمْتُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Whenever Allah says surrender, He says, I surrender. I do whatever you tell me. I do whatever you tell me. I do whatever you tell me. He is the ultimate surrenderer to Allah. When it came to this news, that we're going to kill everyone in the nation of Lut, the only time in the Quran Allah says, يُجَادِلُنَا فِي قَوْمِ لُوطٍ. He debated with us. He argued with us to save the people of Lut. You imagine? He never argues. Ibrahim a.s. only submits. He only listens. He only obeys. And now, for the first time in his entire life, 114 years of submission. And now he's arguing. And he's not even arguing for himself, not even arguing. Even when Allah told him, not all of your children will be good, didn't argue back. Made a different dua. Allah said no again. Didn't argue back. Made another dua. No arguments, no arguments, no arguments. And now, Allah is about to destroy the nation of Lut. And He says, please, don't. How about if there's 50 among them who believe? How about less? How about less? How about less? He starts trying to save them. The question is why? I told you we are the religion of Ibrahim. We learn bravery from Ibrahim, yes or no? We learn to think for ourselves and not just be followers, yes or no? We learn to not think of normal as the majority. We just define normal by what Allah has given us, yes or no? All of that's coming from who? Ibrahim alayhi salam. We learn to trust Allah's plan and surrender, yes or no? Okay. But now we learn from that same Ibrahim that we care about people even when they are sinful and worthy of Allah's anger, even when someone is so worthy of Allah's anger that Allah has decided to kill them, does not mean they are worthy of Ibrahim's anger. He still wants to what? Save them, because that's what Allah wants from human beings. Allah has a right to be angry, not me, not you. Allah wants us to care about other people, even when they are sinful. They're sinful. But I don't want them to be destroyed. I want them to be saved. I want them to be spared. I want good for them. Are they believers? Is he making this case for believers? No. He deeply, deeply, deeply cares about people he has never met. And he knows that they are sinful. And he knows that they are so sinful that Allah would even destroy them. Even then he cares about them. If you, all of you kids here and your families, we are the religion of Ibrahim, alayhi salam. Put that on your fridge or something. Look at it every day before you eat your food. Religion of Ibrahim. What does that mean about your relationship with your neighbors? If you're the religion of Ibrahim, what I just shared with you, what does that tell you about your neighbors? What do you think? So we should just move to a neighborhood where there's other Muslims, and so you make sure your Muslims are all your neighbors, so you can gossip about each other and make sure that you compete with each other on who has the better iftar party, etc. And whenever you have a non-Muslim or non-Muslim neighborhood, just ignore them like they're the plague. Because, obviously we're Muslims, we should be among other Muslims. Is that the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam? What are we learning from Ibrahim alayhi salam? To what? Yeah. I'm not saying be kind to your neighbor. I'm not saying give charity to your neighbor. I'm saying something else. What am I saying? What is Ibrahim saying? Alayhi salam. Yes. Treat everyone equally? No, that's not what he's doing. He's doing something deeper. I need the right word. Let's see if you can find the right word. Yes. have mercy?